Hi and welcome to In the Craftroom with Debbie. In this session I'm going to show you how to create this amazing dimensional card. It looks very complicated, but trust me, once I show you all the measurements and you can put it together, you'll be making these lovely Aperture dimensional cards in no time. So the idea, if you've never had a go at In the Craftroom with Debbie before, is it's a virtual workshop in real time. So that means that I'm actually going to do it step by step at the same time as you are. What you do need to do is go over to my website at debbimore.co.uk and download from In the Craftroom session 7. And in there you'll be able to get 3 sheets of paper. So these are the 3. So you've got a design sheet and 2 backing papers. Once you've downloaded those, you need to get some materials ready. So you need 2 sheets of white card. You need a paper trimmer, or if you don't want to use a paper trimmer, you can use a knife and ruler, and literally a pencil and a pair of scissors, and we're ready to go. So are you ready? So we're going to put this to one side, and although I'm going to do it in real time, I'm going to show you the measurements now so you can make a note of them, and then we can craft along together. So to start off with, from the white piece of card, if you write down these measurements, you are going to cut down a white piece of card 29 centimetres by 18 centimetres. Now what I've also done is I've done it in inches as well, so it's 11.4 inches by 7 inches. So that's what you're going to cut out one piece of card. And then on another piece of card, what you're going to do is trim down your card to be 21 centimetres by 14 centimetres, or in inches, that's 8.2 inches by 5.5 inches. And then I need you to score 2 lines on that. One 7 centimetres from the left and the other 14 centimetres from the left, or in inches it's 2.7 inches or 5.5 inches. Now on the offcut of card that you'll have left, I then want you to actually cut down a rectangle which is 8.5 centimetres by 11 centimetres or 3.3 inches by 4.3. Now you can create 1 or 2 of those, and I'll come to that and explain that in a second. But that is all the measurements. So we're going to start by doing the basics. Once you get the whole idea of how the card is created, you'll be creating these in no time. So we're going to do it in real time, remember? So to start off with, you need the larger piece. So here is my A4 card. Now I need to trim it down, like I said earlier, to 29 centimetres. So I'm using a paper trimmer. So we're going to trim it down to 29 centimetres. So just trim a little bit off the end, like so. And then what I'm going to do then is trim it also to 18 centimetres. So this creates the basis of my card. So this is 18 centimetres. There we go. I'll leave that to one side for a second. And then the second piece of card, we needed to trim down to 21 centimetres. So let's find 21. There you go. And cut. And then we'll do the same by rotating it. And I need this one to be 14 centimetres. Now, the one thing I've just realised I forgot to mention, if at any time you have any questions or queries, just write them down in the comments and I will answer them. So although it's a virtual In the Classroom workshop, any queries that you have, just pop them in the comments and I'll answer them as we craft along together. So there's my second piece. Now remember I said, oops, I need an embossing tool. Let's get them from my basic. I am knocking everything down. This, everybody, is live and everything's knocking down all these lovely cards. There we go. So you can either use to actually emboss an embossing tool, or if you do have the black part to your trimmer or the embossing part to your trimmer, pop it in. And remember I said I needed to score at 7 centimetres, like so, and then 14 centimetres, like so. And that creates the score lines that I need to create that part. And then the last part, remember I said I needed, was 2 little rectangles. Now the 2 rectangles that I need from the offcut paper, I might just get another piece of pet card, is 8 0.5 by 11. So let's do 11 first, like so. And then we have 8.5. Let's get to there. So I'll get to why we need these in a second, like so. Now that, everybody, is the basis of my card. So let me explain. We have cut the 29 by 18 centimeters or 11.4 inches by 7 inches, and this is my card base. And then I'm just going to fold it together using a bone folder. You hold the two edges like so. I mean, you can score it if you want. I tend to just do it like this, and then I press down, and this is my card blank. And then I have this panel, and this panel goes in here, like so. But obviously, as you can see here, we need to stick an aperture in. Now this is what you're going to do, everybody. You are going to put this on top, and you're going to cut out your rectangle. However, here's a big top tip. Cover your chosen backing paper first before you cut it out. So what I'd like you to do is get your paper. So I'm going to go with this one here, and we are going to, now you can leave a white edge if you want. On this one I am not. So what I'm going to do, here's my top tip. I always put my paper on top of my card, which is it, and get a measurement. So I want to cover it. So you can use a pencil or a pen. Just make a little mark like so. And we're going to do the same on the end. How is everybody doing? Have you all done your base of your card? Remember, any questions or queries, just let me know. So then I need to trim it down. So I've got a mark there and a mark there. Just use my paper trimmer again. It's always important to have the right tools. It makes crafting a joy. By having a paper trimmer, I find it so much easier to cut everything to the size that I want to. And although I'm not measuring, I'm just using the little dashes to line up my, because with a viscous trimmer, it has what is called a precision line, so you can see where you're cutting. It just makes it a joy to actually put together. So now I have, this is going to fix on top of there like so. Now you can use your double-sided tape, or you can use any of your adhesive. I'm using some 3-in-1 glue. Put the glue on, like so. Now with a 3-in-1, you only have probably about a few minutes before it bonds. So I slide it very quickly into place, like that. There we go. And there is my base. Put that glue on. With 3-in-1 glue, when you're not using it, you really need to put the lid on, otherwise it might harden. So do you remember that rectangle that you cut out earlier? So if I just show you this, if I just move this to one side, move out all my messy bits. So the rectangle is actually the middle part of this, okay? And this is what's very important to remember. That wherever you want your, or just say whatever size is your topper, so this is from the design sheet, okay, you need to decide how big you want your rectangle. So I've already put my papers on, and then I'm going to line this up. I tend to use my matte line as a guide so I know it's straight, and then I line this up by eye of where I want it to go in the middle. And then I'm going to use a pen like so and go around the outside. Now another top tip would be, if you have dies, you can use your die, which for example here we have our nesting dies, and I could use that if I want to, but I thought I'd go old school just in case at home you don't have any dies to cut out. So I've got my rectangle, and keep this as a guide if you want to do any more. And then I get my paper trimmer, I line it up. Now by using a paper trimmer, now this is what I said to you earlier, you can, if you want to, use a knife and a ruler, but I prefer using my paper trimmer. Now on a Fiskars paper trimmer, this cross in the middle shows you where you start and where you stop. So I'm just going to line it up where I'm going to start, which is there. Press down. Now remember, you're going through all of it. I'll make sure I get it the right way. Yes, there we go. I had it on the wire, and this is what you have to be very careful about when you're doing this. Hold it down, go to the top like so, lift up, move over. So let's do that again. Line it on the other side, make sure it's nice and straight, line up where you want it to go, go to the top, and all I'm doing is going around the edging like so. Then bring this one in, lift it up, line it up, but make sure I don't want to show the black. I've done it in black so you can see it, but normally I would use a pencil just in case I make my lines, or I should say you can see the lines afterwards. Then lift this up like so, line it up, press it down. Can you see how easy it is? I'm cutting out my rectangle. So this one's got a little bit of a notch stuck, so just use a small pair of scissors. There we go. And trim it off like so. If it wants to go all the way through. And this is how easy it is to make your little aperture if you don't have any dies. So that's how to cut out your aperture. Now my top tip always is to actually make sure you actually cover it with paper first. And this you can keep and you can use it for something else. However, this is the rectangle that we used before. So now that I have the front of my card done, all I now need to do is get it to put together. So the idea is this is going to stick like so. And then this, can you see how it goes? Once you've stuck that on there, comes through the aperture. So now we're going to decorate the inside of your card, everybody. So hopefully you're all still with me. Remember, if you don't use your paper trimmer to trim out your aperture, you can use your dies or you can use a knife and a ruler. So the next stage, it comes to decorating this section. There isn't any rules. I have given you this gorgeous paper. My top tip is to get the measurements. So to start off with, I want to leave a little whiter edge for this one. So I start off by covering the whole, or should I say line it up, put a little notch so you can see that little black notch there. Hopefully you can, it's about there. And then I'm going to go to the end like so. So I'm going to trim down my paper and then I'm going to do it in sections. So this is my paper trimmed down. And this is one of the download papers that you get from my website. I mean, you don't have to use this one. You can use the floral one because you will have paper left. Now remember, because it's a download, you can print them off again and again. So now I want to decorate this section. And what I want to do is decorate these two sections and put them together. So here's my top tip. I line up what I want and then I put a little notch like so. But instead of then cutting it, move the notch over to the next section like so and make another one. And then I want to have a little bit, or I should say I want to have just a strip on there. So let's have that like so. So then what you'll find, oops, I've got my paper trimmer. By doing it this way, everybody, you'll be able to get the correct measurements you need. And this is the beauty about using a paper trimmer that has a precision line and also a pen or a pencil, because I've really not measured, I've just really put notches in. And this is my type of crafting. There we go. So we've got everything ready and now we're going to put them all together. How's everybody doing? Are you still with me? But remember, if you have any questions, just write them down and I'll answer them for you. So this is now going to go there and this is going to go to here, and this last bit is just going to sit on there. So you do need to use a glue. You can use your 3-in-1 if you've got it. If you haven't got 3-in-1, you can use a double-sided tape. Any glue will do. Put that on there. Go, line it up like so. I always wiggle it in place, and when I'm happy I then press down. All these lot of top tips are helpful to make your life easier and crafting more fun. Wiggle it into place like so. When you're happy, now I'm using the line of that one to line it all up. Press down, make sure it closes okay, and then the last bit, there we go. Take that glue and then position it, wiggle it into place. I'm just going to do it that way, so I'm lining up all my little Art Deco symbols. Right, so while that is drying, because it'll take a few minutes to dry, under all this I did cut out my topper. How is your desk? Because your desk is as untidy as mine. Look, I can't even find it. Oh, right, it's buried right under everything. So there is my topper, everybody. Okay, and there is this. So that's going to sit on top of there. Now remember, you have also got extra elements on here on the design sheet that you can use. I am going to use this offcut of paper that I've got left, and I'm going to have a little white edge, I think. Do like so. Make a little mark, and then make a little mark. Now this technique is one of from the Springtime Art Deco range, but this technique was brought to me by one of my ladies on my design team, Christine and Hayley. And this is what I like about in the craft room. We share ideas from all our teams of different and unusual shaped cards, and this one I think is just amazing. So let's put this all together like so. I think my glue might be running low. There we go. Put that top on second, and then we'll lift it up and position it where I want it, like so. And then my topper is going to sit in the center, and then I'm going to use foam pads for that. Now you can use any type of foam pads. If you're going to use silicone glue, everybody, you need to make sure you leave it to dry for about an hour. And I'm just going to use 2 large foam pads, like so. And here's another top tip. If you use a pricking tool, it lifts the top off. There we go. Position that where you want it to go. So it's going to go in the center like that. And then this is going to sit on here. So now that you've got all your bases, what you need to do is use a bone folder and recrease all your lines. So this is my card shape. Then this is the inside of the card. So turn it over and reinforce the lines from the back, like so. And then that one. That will help it open and close easily. And then this is going to go on there like so. There we go. And what I'm going to do is open my card, position it. Now what you need to make sure you do, everybody, which is very important, is that it's in the center. So what I tend to do is do it this way. I tend to decide where I want it, so it's going to go about so. So if I lift that there, and I make sure it's in the center, so we have got, there we go, in the center there. And then when I actually going to stick this, it's going to sit like so. There we go. So now that I'm happy with that, I'm just going to open that up and just put a little mark where I would like to put it, and then put some glue on there. How's everybody doing? Are you keeping up with me? Do you have any questions? Remember, just write them on there. I hope you're all enjoying this. It is a really lovely card. Position that like so. It is in the center of your aperture, like that. And then what I do is I line this up like that. That's how I want it. So when you close it, it's okay. So then you need to make sure you only put your adhesive on one side. Close your card. Line it up like so. There we go. While that's drying for a few minutes, so that's lining up there, look beautifully, I am going to cut out for the inside and for the front. So let's have a look. It says congratulations. So we're going to cut out, I mean, you can do whatever you want with it, okay? You can decide what sentiment you want. It's great for an anniversary card. It's great for just to say card. Happy birthday. These Art Deco ladies lend themselves for all occasions. Trim that off, and that's going to go on my front. And then choose a sentiment. And I think what I'll do is, I love this saying, make the rest of your life the best of your life. So I'm just going to cut this out, and I'm going to share with you a top tip about cutting. So when it comes to cutting, remember everybody, you can use small scissors and you can do large ones. I prefer to use large ones because you can literally move the paper and it cuts round beautifully. Obviously, if it's really tiny, then yes, use your smaller scissors. And then all I'm doing is going around, moving the card like so. So that is going to go, oh, look at that, everybody. I've chosen a sentiment that's too big. Well, let's have a look. Do I put that in there? No, look at that. See, it was live, everybody. I'll use that on the front, actually. And then I'll put that in there and I'll find something else. So we'll get some foam pads and put that just there, like that. And then what we'll do to finish off, and then this one can go at an angle for congratulations. So you can put a ribbon on the other card. I've put a ribbon, but you can put whatever you want on there. So remember, the idea is it can go through like so, because you have this type of technique, okay? And the beauty about it, it will go completely flat in an envelope. So whether you do it like this or you want to put a ribbon on, don't forget that you also need to put some gems on or some glitters. So just to recap, hopefully you followed the step-by-step instructions and have managed to create this. But just to go over the measurements and everything like so, you need to do 3 pieces of card. To start off with, you need to have a card that measures 29 centimeters by 18 centimeters, or in inches, it's 11.4 inches by 7 inches. That is going to create your card base that you're going to fold over to create your card. The next piece of card that you required is one that is 21 centimeters by 14 centimeters, which is 8.2 inches by 5.5 inches. And then what you're going to do is put 2 score lines. From the left hand side, it's 7 centimeters and then 14 centimeters, or in inches, it's 2.7 inches and 5.5 inches. And the last piece that you need to cut out is your template, and I would keep this for future reference. And what you need to do is cut out a rectangle that measures 8.5 centimeters by 11 centimeters. And then what you're going to then do, in inches, that is 3.3 inches by 4.3 inches. Now this is what you're going to use to draw around your card to create your aperture. And then what you're going to do is this part of your card, you're going to stick like so, and then you're going to stick that on there, close it up when you're ready, when you've decorated, and then make sure you put this part, you'd only put the adhesive on one side, and that's going to go there. That will create this gorgeous Aperture dimensional card. Now remember, if you have any questions, let me know and I'll answer them. Enjoy and happy crafting. Take care and God bless.